What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-techno. And we're going to listen to another tune from December 2025. This is one from the latest AAA Acid Artist in Action, Chris Label's excellent sub-label of Stay Up Forever, and one which I have been especially keyed into since its very early days. And I want to give a big shout out to Chris, who makes sure that I don't miss any of these releases. And this is one from Sortek and Sam DFL. Now, I've talked about Sam DFL in a number of my reactions. He is an acid-techno producer, but he's also a studio guy, and I believe he's been sort of, running or at least managing the Stay Up Forever studio productions in the last few years. But I don't know who Sortek is. I've seen this name a few times in the last couple of years, but I don't have any information beyond that, so hopefully at some point soon I'll be able to fill you in more. And again, if anyone in the acid-techno world is commenting here and you do have some insight, please do let me know. But yes, this is the Pills and Powders EP from December 2025. I'm trying to remember what Acid Artist in Action or AAA release it is. I think it's like 24 or something like that. Does it say it here? Maybe it does. My eyes, I regret to tell you, are not as strong. It's 23, I think. Yeah, I think this is 23. But yes, my eyes are not as strong as they used to be when it comes to reading fine print. In any case, we're going to listen to a tune, or rather the title tune of the EP, Pills and Powders, which, if you've been around the underground rave scene since the 90s, you'll know, has a very specific meaning, or at the very least, a meaning that is part of why the scene was seen as this subversive, and perhaps when it comes to being culturally subversive and disinclined toward conformity and what is considered the acceptable ways of partying and so on, the acid-techno world is self-labeling in that regard. But yes, it is, of course, a reference to drug use at underground rave parties. Let's give it a listen. This is Sortek and Sam DFL and their tune Pills and Powders from the Pills and Powders EP, AAA 23. We'll just wait for the train to go by. Yes, I live very close to a train track, which you can infer socioeconomically all you want about that. But yes, this is Pills and Powders from the Pills and Powders EP on AAA, which is AAA 23 from late 2025. And again, the light went out. After many, many years, the light went out on my turntable in recent times, so I can't see clearly where the track break is. Good lord, this is difficult. This is really unfortunate. I do apologize. Can I get an angle on? There we go. Menacing bass line. I like the loud echo clap.
kid not to do drugs when I do drugs. I'll feel like a hypocrite.
Well, remember what I told you? When you were a teenager?
What did you say?
I said no pills, no pot.
That's right.
If it grows in the ground, it's probably okay.
I guess it worked. Like you told me not to smoke pot all those years, and then I found out you were smoking pot that whole time.
Not the whole time. In the evenings, so all day every weekend. But not that much.
Yo. Get it. That remaining riff. That's really good for transitioning into another track. As is that unsettling ambience. Which, of course, the unsettling ambience, I think, fits with the theme of the record. And indeed, I want to know where that sample comes from. Maybe it's actually like, just a conversation they recorded in the studio, but it feels like it's probably from some movie. But if it is, or, show, whatever, but I'm not familiar with it, but it's very funny. And indeed, as someone who partied pretty hard back as a teen and into my early 20s, and then who for many, many years, as they say, partook of something which grows out of the ground. And even if I don't partake the way I used to as now someone in my mid-40s, I'll always respect, number one, underground rave culture in that regard, and even more specifically, the green smoking culture, because I feel like there is a nature of engagement with music, and especially with, again, underground techno and acid music, that for me, it was, part of that experience in the earliest days and, even beyond that. So, again, I might be a boring old guy now, but I ultimately will always have respect for, those who were part of that. And, I'm not here to judge the way other people engage with techno music or music in general. So, yeah, bottom line, I'll always respect that. And I do love that sample, which sounds like it's, between a father and a son. Nevertheless, this is a more menacing track compared to the one I reacted to earlier in this session, the Feel the Drums. This one is definitely wicked, subterranean, fist in the air, feet stomping on the ground, looking at the ground as you just get it like right in front of the speaker wall. It's that kind of tune. And again, there's a menacing bass line, then that like kind of edgy buzzsaw acid layer, and then there's those sharp acid accents which are kind of like stabbing toward you. And I love the way at the end of that breakdown with the sample, it just kicks right back in. Like there's no big build up to prepare you for it. It just drops back in. So I love the immediacy of that. And yes, as I said, the outro, I love the way there's that, persistent acid riff and a bit of that uncomfortable ambience, which would allow you to bring in a new track and some new elements coming in from the tune you're mixing into, but you'll still be able to hear the wicked nature of pills and powders on the way out. So a top tune from an amazing label. Shout out to Chris Liberator once again. Shout out to Sortek and Sam DFL. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.